All right. Well, it seems I gotta figure out when this starts the recording. When I hit go live, it looks like there's stuff in the buffer. Anyway, welcome to what I guess is the first post. I don't know. Initial batch of streams. Okay. I've finished all the photos in the what I call the pre-modern age, not the film age. The age before I had a reasonable, like, anything resembling a reasonable way to process and put up the photos for resolution. You know, sort of the 56K era, and no one, people would yell at you when your stuff was over 100K. I'm going to be transitioning into the early modern age, where I had better web hosting. I sort of knew what I was doing better, but it still was a little sketchy, and I still had about a year worth of crummy old camera. So that's going to be the next large group of things. I've done a little bit already from 2006, 2007. But right now I'm looking, my main project is to get some stuff up on my web Google Photos before they institute blanket space limits without paying. So I want to see how long I can go without having to pay for freaking Google Photos. So I have a whole bunch of guest photos and stuff that I got 10, 15 years ago from Amtrak tower workers and things that I had to sit on for a little bit so people wouldn't get in trouble. These are in a variety, the formats. I'm not going to edit them. They're reference photos. They should go up as is. But I'm going to just do some renaming, so they're in my naming convention, and then I'm going to throw them up. So we're going to start with some. I already did a bunch of Cork Tower showing what it looked like back in 2005, and that was, you can go read that, and you can go check that out. I'm just showing them what we had right here. I have some newer photos of Cork from 2010. This was after Cork had been resignaled, before it had been closed. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the tower with its 1927 interlocking that stretched from all the way over there, here's Lancaster, to all the way over here somewhere. There. It was turned into 4 interlockings: Holland, Conestoga, Cork, and Lidditz. There's Lidditz. And they were all used to be run off the Model 14. After the Model 14 after all those interlockings were redone, they didn't close the tower yet. That was done sometime around 2011, 2012. So the tower was open. There was a guy there, but he was using the same sort of unit lever panels that you've seen in the other towers, like for Bryn Mawr interlocking, or Fraser, the Fraser board at Thorn. The Roy machine, well, not really the Roy machine, that's a bad example. The Harris machine in State. So I'm not putting them up so they'd be a little bit of a surprise. Trying to figure out how to do these best. So here we have. So all of this is after, again, the Cork machine had been shut down, but before it had been closed. So you can see the model board. One of the things that tends to happen to model boards is that the lights get salvaged really fast for reasons. A lot of collectors need these to restore their boards, and railroad. Those are a part that tends to like to fail, so they get pulled out to be used elsewhere. At this point in 2010, they would have been used not only at other NEC, at Paoli, State, or Overbrook Zoo, but also Dock and a few other towers here and there. So you can see here in the middle of the model board that it's been stripped for the lamp parts. It also looks like it's seen some restoration. This is sort of strange. If we go back to one of the older photos, let me just see what I can go here. Don't have the greatest thing, but I'm thinking that someone rolled in here on their own time and applied some restoration to it, which is sort of strange. Anyway, I'm just going to rename these as we go. And here's an odd photo stitch someone did of the entire board as it appeared. Oh, I think I'm not sure. This looks like, I can't tell if someone came in here and if this is a digital editing of the model board, or if they yeah, this has to be a digital restoration. So this is I guess they didn't do it live. Because I can see that they screwed up some bits. But this is a neat little thing. My friend went and basically did sort of a cut and paste so that he could recreate what the model board originally looked like. So that's pretty neat. These will all be. I'm going to be doing a Cork Tower, full like blog post on Cork. It's just one of those things that really that takes a long time to write up. So I needed a chunk of time. Look, this is actually restored to its pre-1948 configuration with the old the Conestoga section where you had 4 tracks all the way there, 2 tracks over the bridge, and then your freight tracks there. So that's pretty cool. However, okay, I think this is real though. I think so. That one was clearly a digital edit. This looks like someone actually did go in and restored the parts of the board. That's what I remember looking at. So again, here's what it looked like when it was in service. You know, it resembles reality, and I honestly think I don't think that's a digital edit. I think some of the maintainers snuck into the board, snuck into the room and did an edit of this, or and painted it up. I mean, it could be a hack, but it looks like it looks pretty authentic. Yeah, it's so again. These were all taken in 2010. So if you're wondering what, hold on, make sure that if everything's working. Okay, what you're looking at here. Not there. Here, that's the old Reading line. There, it would at what is now Lidditz, and that switch is still there. Reading trains would cross over the main line and then have a diamond over the Columbia branch. The Columbia branch was the electrified freight branch to Columbia, Pennsylvania, part of the original Philadelphia and Columbia. The reason you have railroads back in the day in the very early 1830s through 50s was to complement canals. So Philadelphia didn't have a river going in. Like, it had the Schuylkill that had a canal, but they had no way to get to the Susquehanna canal system. So that's why a railroad was built from Philadelphia to Columbia, where it would interface with the Susquehanna Canal. That canal, part of the main line of public works, went up the Judiana, then using the incline plains over the Alleghenies to Pittsburgh. Then they just built a railroad. So yeah, I think hopefully this is all still there. I'm pretty sure that all this is still in the tower. But it's just pretty neat that some signal crews got in here and restored it. That's really neat. And same thing. in here it looks like, yeah, you can see it's shiny. Someone came in here with paint and added that in. This extra track there on the bottom was gone. It wouldn't be hard for someone to do this because the old lines were there. They're just painted out. So someone would just have to take some masking tape and some white paint and would be able to recreate these. And like I said, this is the pre-1948 configuration, where you had 4 tracks all the way from Philadelphia to Lancaster. Oops. How many? I guess there's some duplicates in here. Sorry about that. Model board right. Where are those? There it is. Dash right. Okay. And here we just have one of the lights got in the way. Okay, so here we have what was put into the tower, and these are the new unit lever panels. So this was right around when the old park was being decommissioned. It was the new interlocking was going to be called Atklin, but they just called it Park again. Notice the track 1-4 numbering, which reflects that pre-1948 configuration. Now this was not yet in service. I'm not sure if it ever was in service, but you can see the new interlocking at Lehman was controlled from Cork as well. It controlled pretty much the new Reims interlocking, which was built in the original around this time. That was controlled from State. Cork got Park, Lehman, and it's 4. So just a couple things. As I said, it's unit lever. It looks like when you might think that these are have to do with NX. They're not. These little tabs. This is blocking devices. You pull that out to block that section. So you block there. That means no route can use that track segment as part of its thing. These knobs are for the signals. You twist and push. So you twist one way is for clearing. You twist and push to clear. You twist and push the other direction to fleet. So in the center thing, it's just neutral. And here are your switches. They just twist and it moves it. Catenary plate switches they're just a reminder in case a catenary is out of service. And there was one additional thing here. Those. So this is how you can do these knobs, these buttons there are to display the clear to next interlocking signals. So that would be 1WBC, 4WB, that's block clear. So that little lamp there is the representation of the C board for clear to next interlocking. Now I said I could be going through here and processing these and cropping it down and whatnot, but let me see. Like it's just not really that necessary because it only would apply to just 2 or 3 of these, so I'm just going to leave them alone. Here we have Lehman. This one is active. I think that there's a route Is that a route or there's occupancy? I think that's a route, but I'm not sure. Well, no, there's not a route. All the signals are stopped. I don't know what those little blue lights are. There's something. We got rusty rail indicators because those switches aren't used. And these things, there's the reminder tag of these little tiny pins that slot through holes in the base of these. So when you want to block something, you pound that and you put a little red flag. There's like a little pin that goes through the little pull. So these are pulls. You pull them out to block or push them in. Pull or pull. I think they're pulls, but and then you put a little pin in it. Lehman was the old TBS Lehman. It had a little, it was hand operated, but it had a little panel there for the two signals. The Lehman hut is still there. It was interesting because you had semi-automatic, you had in theory controlled signals, but it was ABS 251, so the reverse track had no signal into the crossover. In theory, trains operating on Form D authority to that location. I don't think they had to approach it prepared to stop, but if they only had Form D authority to Lehman, they would not foul the. I think the rules say that if you don't foul crossovers at a temporary block station. Here we have Holland. This is the note the dashed line to indicate that for non-electric in service on track 4 only. No C lamps entering this island of Rule 261 on the Harrisburg line. No, since all the interlocking's back to back, they didn't feel like that would just cause issues. No switch heater installed on 25 switch. Okay, fair enough. This is also the point where it goes from track 4 to track 2. So that's why it's a 25. And it's going to be track 1 and 2 all the way to Harrisburg. And then there's your one little lamp for the seaboard right there. Here's the Conestoga panel. This freight track on this part, the old 7 track, has been it's just there for reference. But here's your freight bypass for the high and wide loads. Dashed again to indicate not electric. Oh, this is interesting. They have so 12 and 21 have movable point frogs, and the indicator shows that shows the A and B for the half, shows them what do you call it? I was going to say it's either side of the crossover, but I think that the A and B has to do with one of them is going to be your movable point frog, and one of them is your main point. I think. Or I guess it's just. I guess just they have a separate indicator for each end of the switch, but yeah, I'm not sure. Why they've broken that down to the A and B. I was thinking it had something to do with movable point frogs, because the 71 wouldn't have had one, but yeah, I'm not sure. So I'm glad my friend got in there to take these. This is really neat. Looks like the interlocking is like 2 zones. I don't get probably for depending on micro lock zone. That just has to do with how all the modern interlockings are sort of done these days. I would not be surprised if these switches, these panels are still in Cork and were still operable. They might not be, but I don't see why they would have had a reason to remove them. Here's the Cork panel. Similar to Conestoga. Again, freight bypass. This track here is just another like industrial siding. All your seaboards where necessary. This little white light there, that third one, that's for fleeting. So you can't fleet everything, but you can fleet some things. And here's Lidditz. That's the Lidditz, the NS or Conrail Lidditz secondary. Here we have how they're mounted. They're just they put them right on top of the old interlocking machine. Interlocking machine does not does not appear to have been substantially stripped, which is often very common. There are enough towers. There are so few towers left by 2010 that they really didn't need to strip them out like they used to. Other view of the thing. Yeah, so this, it's a neat thing that in its last couple years of life, that the tower took on, that the operator is still doing tower things and even got some expanded territory. And I think that's it for Cork. So don't worry, I got more. Let's see if we have any questions in the thing. Yes, I believe so. The adjacent factory. Oh, you like those, Jessica? So they're going to be going on they'll get on the web space at some point under towers. They're going to be on the my Google Photos. The number of dwarf signals at Bryn Mawr is the same number it is pretty much today. Two going west, one going east, and then two for the pocket. So two for the pocket and one for the MU storage track. So off the top of my head, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can double check that. That's North Philadelphia there. 1 second. Oh, that's Paoli. That's nothing. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I missed one. So it's no, I was right, but I had one in the wrong locations. 2 for the MU storage track, 2 west, 1 east, and 1 for the reverse on the pocket. The other pocket wasn't signaled. It wasn't a pocket. That MU siding vanished sometime in the 90s. Yeah, those appeared on YouTube for a bit, and I downloaded them, and someone gave me a copy of the 85 Philly to Harrisburgs. I have those on a pair of DVD-Rs somewhere. So don't worry, we got more. It's not the greatest thing, but I do have a little bit more. We're going to go through a couple things until I run out of time. So next I want to do are some pictures taken at Park interlocking. Now, I didn't get the person who went out did not get many photos inside the tower. These are back in 2005, but it was right when that the concrete track project, tie project, was in place, and they were doing single tracking between Lancaster and Park, which resulted in Park being used as a crossover. Park Tower is very interesting in that, hold on, There it is. It was open as needed. So until about 1994, SEPTA would run about 3 peak direction trains to Park. But to do so, they had to pay the cost of the operator. Oh, wait, I want to. I'm not even starting at the right place. Park was effectively removed by the Penn Central when the Enola branch was single tracked. So Park was like a rump. It wasn't like a full crossover. It was like there wasn't a lot there. Somewhere I have a diagram of it. I'd have to dig it out. I could try to do that now, but anyway, hold on. I can work on this. So it was almost removed, and then it was put back by Amtrak. So Amtrak paid to put it back in its full form, full 4-track crossover. Here we go. Park PC. So here's what Park was by the Penn Central. It was 4-track, but they only had 2 switches. So you could go from the center track. It was almost like a local express thing. So Amtrak trains or freights or whatever could go to access the center tracks. All the signals were there, but it only had 2 switches. This is the original, was what you sort of saw there today. Full 4-track crossover. Amtrak gets back in charge, and they put the full 4-track crossover. They restore it. So the 9, the 25 were only there in Penn Central days. Amtrak puts in the 21, 13, kind of 19 and 15. But by this point, it's only a 3-track line. So you have this sort of vestigial ghost track of number 3. So this is how it was all the way up through the 2005s. At a certain point, Amtrak abandons number 2 track. They just pull it, but they don't remove the signals. So you have a hand-operated switch right here that then goes through the interlocking. Park was open as needed. So up until 94, it was manned 2 tricks a day. SEPTA got sick of paying for that. So they made it open as needed. This means it was only open in case it needed to do single tracking. Otherwise, it was fully automatic. And I even have video of this, where the signals would normally clear in the regular direction, but the reverse direction signals would immediately would also display restricting. So if a train coming here east, going west on number 4, takes the signal, it will be clear. Go through this would immediately, at some point, this 26R would go from restricting to stop. The train would pass through the interlocking, and then that signal would immediately come back up to restricting. Simply because the interlocking was sort of in an automatic mode. Thorn, the only multi-directional track was this old number 2 track. It was 261. And Thorn would control Park signals using a traffic lever. So you could, if you threw traffic west, the 20 would display and 24 would go to stop. If you threw traffic east, 24 would display and 20 would go to stop. Park also had there's a dragging equipment detector. If a train tripped the dragging equipment detector, it would drop the home signal and light up this E. There were special instructions. It was like a paragraph in the Amtrak Harrisburg line timetable. It's like, if you get stopped with the E illuminated, stop your train. Do these steps. After 5 minutes, the E will go out and the signal will clear. Do these other steps. So what I have here are pictures of Park being used as a crossover. So Park is one of those things, the workers liked it because it was this sort of a weird extra board thing. They have to find someone who's qualified, pull them in for an extra shift. They'd sit there and not do, they'd sit there and probably get overtime all day. So here we have an Amtrak train crossing over from 4-track back to 1 because 1 track's out of service for the use of the ties. So he was going off on the 25 switch. This little bit, like I said, this is just sort of like it still has the original 155-pound rail, but unless you were doing a weird pocket maneuver, of 25 reverse, 19 reverse, which you might have been able to signal. Sometimes you couldn't. That you can see that track is super rusted. So this is Amtrak number 67. Let's see here. There we go. Here we have Park. My friend left the flash on. Here we have Park with the Keystone. Look, you can see how old it is because they're using 3-car Keystones. Keystones have been 5 cars for some time now. .25 switches reverse and the 21 switch. Okay. Amtrak 67 at Park. .67 again, just a little wider. And looking at Park interlocking heading, and this is all this. I was just there last weekend, and you know, nothing. I mean, the tower's there, the substation's there, but like it's just 2 tracks. No, there's a third track for this third track was used. It's an industrial track. Let me get up on the map here. Hold on. Let me just show you guys where this is on the map. So there's Lancaster is right there. Park is located right here. And it was the interlocking where you would... oh, it's not marked on the map there. It's marked as a rail trail, which doesn't show up well. So the old ANS low-grade line sort of goes that way. There's Ackland is there. But the junction with the ANS is not until Park. So your passenger... And the passenger route comes in. Here's Ackland. The right-of-way for the ANS is south there. There's the new Park interlocking, which they're going to call Ackland. And here is the industrial park that track serves. I don't know if they have active customers now, but they used to. The biggest one was this Green Giant plant. Now it's Victory Brewing. Anyone in the Philadelphia area might know Hop Devil. They do that. They do a bunch of things. So Victory Brewing currently runs the old Green Giant plant. That was the biggest user of this siding. I don't think it doesn't look like they're getting any rail shipments, but breweries are, do use it. So there's the old Park limits, and as you can see, oh, that's right. There is that 4th track. So. Yeah, there's the 2-track. The old home signal was somewhere in here, right there. There's the hand throw switch. There's the old westbound home signal. There's the substation. This is where that crossover was. And just for the heck of it, because I guess they needed maintenance away storage, they just left that other stub track as a little maintenance away storage track in the middle. And there's Park Tower. Tower being a generous term, seeing that it's a single-story building. I always forget to see which. That's going to be the 15 switch there. Anything else? No, same thing. And yeah, this is before 2-track is still in service all the way down. Oops. Here's a quick thing of the Irishtown Road. Let me see which number this guy is. Can't quite make it out. It's just Keystone Train 665. I can't tell what. Looks like at 9 something something. I can't tell what the number is on that. So this was. Fortunately, these signal bridge is still in service, but it's a distant to Lidditz, not an ABS signal. So here it's in its 251 ABS form. Irishtown Road crossing was also ripped out, but here around just a couple years ago. But in 2015, it was actually being regraded. It's because they were having to run the tie machine through, so they had to rip out the stuff. So this is part of the Keystone Service 110-mile-an-hour project. It cost under $1 billion, and they were able to get the speeds from 90 to 110. Very cost-effective program. So let's see what I can do with this. This is going to be PRR mainline. $592. T665 JPEG. There we go. Where was all this? There it is. And okay, here we have the Strasburg. We have an Amtrak CAT machine here on the Strasburg tail track. So this is where I go and I pull up. Let's see. That's Christiana. I got to go find the Strasburg junction 10. Yeah, Lehman. Milepost 56.7. Oops. 56.7. And here we have a picture of the park machine. It's not as good again. He just took a couple. I love here. Do you know what's fascinating? Wait, hold on. That fridge looks like the same one in Columbia. That Kelvin in Columbia, it's a Kelvinator. I don't know what that is. Someone again had taken the time to paint the entire thing with nice gold and green, and even the blocking devices are painted. Notice you have ones that are both blocked and tagged out for rusty rail. Let me make sure that everything is going okay here. Okay, hold on. I'll get to questions in just a second. Whoops. Yeah, so this one's already been renamed, but I just want to get a picture of the machine. Here's a picture of the model board. Again, PR did a good job. Really, whoever they had for their sign painters did a great job. The relay room was on the same level as the interlocking thing, so it was behind that sort of wire cage. So I'm just going to run through the other ones. So we have just, I forget what I have for Strasburg. Hold on. I don't need to go there. SRC. Is it? Yeah. Reporting marks to your friends. Okay, so SRC 90. I'm not sure if 90 is running. It probably is. I mean, you're not. I'm just gonna blast through these because you guys aren't here for this. You want to see Strasburg? You can go see Strasburg. work. This is before they put in the park and the rail fan camera and all the other cool stuff. So it is interesting to see. Like you go there and it's all built up, and you don't realize how much it's actually changed in the last bunch of years. Just Strasbourg photos. Nothing much to see. Plus 88. And that's it. So I have so the what is it? What the heck? Oh, I have 2 copies of that one. That's right. There we go. All right, so that's the quick tour of Park. Let me see if people have questions there. State was open till 2017. It was. I mean, there's still a couple open, but they finally got the whole terminal redone. And that was open until 2017. You can check my blog. I do a whole report on when it closed, and it has the new diagrams versus the old diagrams and everything. And I even have pictures of State up on the blog. I was thinking of doing a redo of those. I might, at some point, I might do a full. So those pictures are in good quality. But there's a few that I might want to go and leave as original, what I would call original quality. So again, they're all done with my 3 megapixel camera. The size is like 600K. It's barely more than my processed size. So I might do a rename on those. Look for me on the last 3 days of this month. I'm going to be doing 3 streams for over 3 nights. So I don't have the State stuff up here specifically, but I can go do a large format of those later this month and talk about State, because I reprocessed them, but it wasn't when I was doing streams. They're currently in my photos when I went to Toronto, a 2003 Chicago set of photos where I was talking to the crew, and while they were putting on road railers at Harrisburg, they took me up to State Tower, and I got to hang out there for about 45 minutes. It was really fun. They have a lot of the same equipment over at Harris, just, live. Okay, so we've done Cork. We've done the bits of Park. And let's see what else I can pull out of my hat. I have a small set of photos from the New Jersey Rail Control Center. They're not great. But these are from 2006. These are from the NJT Meadowlands complex. So I'm going to get these up here. Like all good control centers, they have a display wall. This is the NJT's. This is the Meadowlands Maintenance Complex where NJT has its new dispatching center. Previously, NJT used to dispatch everything out of Hoboken Terminal. It used a non-video type display board with lights and red lights and the little fixed model board type thing with lights. Metro North had one too at Grand Central. They eventually got guys out of there and they moved them to the Meadowlands. So here we have the NEC Mimic. This is NJT's feed from the what it should be the NEC, but I don't think it is. No, wait. Yeah, it's just a bad representation of it, I think. Let's see. So this could be Penn Station, Bergen, Secaucus Junction, Portal, Swift, but then I don't know what this is. This is clearly M&E. So there is your Montclair Booton. There's Great Neck Yard. M&E Trunk. That looks like Denville or nah, can't be Denville. No, that is no. I can't tell what that is. So this is a mix of NEC and MEC. M&E. Fun fact, while every good dispatching center has a display wall, Amtrak's current one does not, for reasons that are who knows. Here we have this is the North Jersey coastline. Note, it's all CTC. They have all visibility every down to Long Beach, but that last little bit here is Rule ABS 251. They only have dispatcher visibility in at the two drawbridges, and Bareil is even see that how it's green there. I saw the same format on SEPTAs. Where are those? Somewhere I have photos from the SEPTA control center. I don't think they're mine, but they were before that showed that you could still tell that like Fern Rock Tower and Schneider Tower were open. So the fact that interlocking it's lit up green indicates that it's under local control. So there's one drawbridge that they control, and then here's the Bareil, which is still an active tower. NJT's got one. So fun fact on this NJT Rail Control Center, Rail Operation Center. One second. NJCL. I think my friend applied for a job there. That's why he was here. A lot of the dispatching desks at NJT are what they call hot desked. In that you're going to be, as he said, wear deodorant because at the time you might be working with each desk might have 3 dispatchers working at it. So here's it looks like the official M&E display wall. Great. Yeah, I guess that's, I'm not sure what that section is there, but this is just the M&E, and there's your Gladstone branch, I'm pretty sure. Didn't know it had 4 passing sidings. And there is Denville, Dover out to Hackettstown. I thought that went to I thought that went to 3 tracks. Yeah, that's Summit. Denville. That should be Dover. Yeah, it's all blurry. I can't really see a lot on it. Okay, this is the second. One sec. This is M&E East. M&E West. And this is labeled as main line. Okay, this is your Bergen County main line. So this is your Erie division. Oops. Yeah, there's the split. There's Waldwick Crossings, Suffern, and your Port Jervis branch. Before they, I think there's before they re-signaled the Port Jervis line, I was heard that when they had the old pole line, it could take up to 20 minutes before they could code out a code would go through to set a route. Of course, they didn't have a lot of service back then. So we're coming up to about an hour here. Let me just see what the what else is going on. Yeah, you search through my blog. The only thing that I haven't done yet is Cork. I need to do a full everything on Cork. I'm gonna be, it's gonna be, it's a two-parter. It's gonna have Cork interlocking with all the pictures showing you what the interlocking is like. Then Cork Tower, where those photos you just saw today, would show off the interior. Those just take a lot of time. Not that they don't take weeks, but they take a solid chunk of two or 3 hours to get those out. When I did the Greenbelt post on the CPLs at Greenbelt, that took way longer than that was a good solid 2 hours. And I'd done half that. I had done a lot of the content previously, but when it gets into the super nitpicky stuff, the time just drags. Let's see what else I got. Let's see if I have any other short ones here. So next time I'm back, I'm gonna be doing a set of these guest photos. This is what I'm looking to do for next. I'm going to be streaming next Saturday night, and I'm going to be reprocessing these guest photos of Fraser. And if you're wondering why there's an Acela Express there, that's because all the AX sets are leased from Bombardier. Warranty work is performed by Bombardier at various Bombardier facilities. One Bombardier facility is at Fraser. SEPTA set it up to maintain the Bombardier single-level coaches, a.k.a. the Comets. So every so often you'd see Acela sets going out on the main line. And actually that's one thing we have time. The one thing I wanted to do here, if I can find it. Another group I wanted to do were these Kinwood line photos, but there's a lot of them. So I'll again, that's something I'll save for a little bit later. Hold on. Let's see what I can find. I thought I had one more set, but I'm not sure. Maybe it was in the Fraser. No, it's not there. Oh, I know where they are. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, it's these guys. Yeah. Alright, let me just throw... These are from 2006. Let me just do a couple more. Okay, just a... this is where I was this past weekend. You can see the jointed rail was getting replaced out on the main line. Again, that was only done in 2005, and that rail was from the 1940s. Good 150 pound stuff. So here we have Keystone Train 609 coming. So, fun fact, this signal bridge, which is a road bridge that is no longer a road bridge, out in Devon, Pennsylvania. It's right by the Devon train station. I mean, it's you can get up on that. It's the fences are hold on both sides, so you can just sort of roll in, park at the Devon station, and then you're there. You know, it's about a minute walk to get over there. You know, just hide appropriately. Berwyn, where is that? Wayne. St. David's, Radnor. Where is that? Okay, there's Devon. Yeah, the stations are so close together. It's right there, so there's ample parking. And you can just go right up and be right up close with your position lights and get above photos of the trains. Like I said, just try not to be seen. So here we have Amtrak. Looks like... No, number 199. let's see here. Amtrak. T609. PRR. Looks like 162. Tracks. Clear. There we go. This does also appear to be Devon. I was out there and I completely forgot to go to St. David's. So that's number 3. That's one of those other things I've always wondered, like how many of the P42s, how close am I to a full set of P32s? This is westbound. Oops. Same train again. You can see this is just after they switched to the 5-car sets. They went from 3 to 5 cars in about 2005. And here's the reason I think he went out there to catch one of the SEPTA, the AX sets going past. So it's yeah. Hold on. Amtrak 2023 Devon. And all right, there we go. Yep, just a couple pictures of the AX heading by here. So, like I said, I'm just trying to get some stuff renamed, and I'll throw it all up in various things. So that should be good. Thanks for joining me. Let me see if anybody has any questions here. Arsenal, like what kind of photos of Arsenal? I mean, yes. I don't have any inside. If you go on Wikimapia, the Arsenal Tower, there's a guy, a local Philly guy, has been doing a lot of urbex stuff. So if I roll down to Arsenal Tower, I can't pronounce his username very well. I'm gonna screw it up if I try. But he's got some interior photos of what it looks like right now. It's very similar to Zoo, but a little smaller. I mean, it's not a great picture there, but it's got the same exact style of interior as Zoo. Machines there and everything. That's one of mine. When did I get these photos? I forget. But I do have a number of photos of Arsenal. And I just got more photos of Arsenal at the last midwinter trip. When we did our walking tour, we went like all around. We walked past Arsenal, got photos of Arsenal, walked up past through the Penn campus. So all of my photos are exterior. The only 2 interior ones are located on Wikimapia. And of course I got a bunch passing by it and such. Hold on, I can do a Google album search. That didn't find the ones I wanted. That's not helping. Oh, that's the problem. Hold on. They wouldn't be there. They're in this Google Photos. Oh, here's some pictures of Arsenal. When they did Amtrak's Fall Foliage Train, they went up on that Y, and I was able to get good photos of behind it. Although actually, you can just there's a Pico access road, so if you don't have to be that bold to sort of dash on up there and get these same shots from the ground. I went up and got actually those same shots just zoomed across the tracks. Hold on, let me find the ones I wanted to talk to you about. Here we go. This is in the album 2010, my Philly Walkathon pictures. That's because I walked a total of like 13 miles that day. Went out to Derby, got pictures of the Derby interlocking, Gray's Ferry interlocking, Arsenal Tower, Arsenal interlocking, for SEPTA that is. Walnut. Yeah. A lot of walking, not many photos, but that was before I went absolutely nuts taking photos. I didn't have quite the zoom reach that I do on my modern cameras, so I couldn't get up, I couldn't get every little last detail. I'll drop the link. Hold on, I'll put the link in the description. There you go. And like I said, midwinter trip photos will be available sometime in October or November, and they'll be in that. All right. Well, anyway, thank you so much. So I said next Saturday night I'll be back. I'm going to be reprocessing those Fraser photos, and look for me later on in the month, specifically on the night of May 24th, 25th, and 26th. I'm going to find something to do on those nights. Probably going to be a good amount of renaming like tonight. Maybe I'll find something to edit up. It all depends on what I run out of. So I'm just identifying what I have so I can get them up on Google Photos. But sorry if this was. I assume this is probably just as interesting. Yeah, the Kinwood line ones I want to redo. I want to I don't necessarily reprocess them, but I definitely want to do a rename on these and make them available. So, okay, I'm gonna head off, and everybody have a wonderful night. Stay safe. I'm going up to New York City tomorrow. Tap me on Twitter or send a message if you wanna. I won't have much time to do stuff, but I'm gonna be in Penn Station around 1:30 and trying to get down to meet someone at JFK. So I'm probably gonna be going via Jamaica. It's expensive. But my other friend doesn't want to ride a bus, and I really don't also want to ride a bus. So, all right, peace out.